God calls us up to do great things. We're each called to something unique within our lives.
Liberty women's soccer coach Lang Wedemeyer is no stranger to doing hard things. 2 years ago, Lang ran the entire Blue Ridge Parkway, all 469 miles of it. Shortly after accomplishing that, he would discover another challenge, known as the Camino de Santiago.
As I started to look into it more, it really kind of took hold of me. And I think the element of the religious aspect was really what drew me to it.
The Camino de Santiago has been a path traveled since the Middle Ages. It leads to the Santiago de Compostela, in what some believe is the tomb of James, the disciple of Christ. And for Lang, this journey of 500 miles felt as if it could be much more than just another run.
I knew that it was something that couldn't be accomplished without the Holy Spirit. And so that was exciting. Very much a snowball effect. It started with watching a few YouTube videos and looking at some of the chats online about people who had done it or planned on doing it. Started having conversations with the wife, and at first, of course, she's like, "You're crazy. This is unbelievable." And the final straw was that she said, "Well, if you get to do this, I get to go to Disney World," and then that clinched it.
With negotiations behind him, it was time to plan the route.
The Camino itself is right about 500 miles, and it starts in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in France in the Pyrenees Mountains. And you go through the Pyrenees into Spain, and then you run across northern Spain to Santiago, which is close to the coast. I was going to do it in about 15 days of running. That did have one rest day in there. The mileage was generally somewhere between 30 to 40 miles a day.
This was a big undertaking. It would be a journey unlike any Lang had experienced before.
This truly felt like a pilgrimage. This felt like, I was going for a different reason, a higher purpose. Running 7 to 8 hours a day, there were times where it was just me for miles and not another person in sight. But I never quite felt alone. I always felt this presence of the Holy Spirit there with me. 13 miles straight up through the beautiful Pyrenees Mountains, but it was worth it for this view. Being in the Pyrenees and the Cantabrian Mountains and the plains of the Meseta, just the beauty of the landscape was phenomenal. Every town had a church. These are churches that were 1,000, 1,500 years old. Being able to go into different houses of God and worship in those houses in different ways was really special.
Through difficult terrain, bad weather, and other obstacles, Lang would eventually arrive in Santiago de Compostela.
Coming into to kind of the main courtyard in front of the cathedral there was unbelievable. And then it was, oh my gosh, like this just happened. I've just completed the Camino, and I did it in 15 days of running. I went on this pilgrimage with a little bit of the notion that I was going to solve life's problems. But all of a sudden, the Holy Spirit spoke to me and he said, "You know what? You don't have to have it all figured out. It's okay for us just to be together. Let's just be together right now." And so that's kind of what I did. And I was even more at peace with that, because each day at the beginning, I'm like, all right, let's go running together. And if you've got something to tell me, I'm here and I'm waiting and I'm open for it. But if not, let's just be together. And that made the runs enjoyable and very peaceful. Ultimately, the bigger purpose was what made it special.